Hi, and welcome to the Hartsville Football Coaches Show. We got our special senior edition here, and if you notice, we're in short sleeves. We're in a different location. Things are a little bit different, and that's because Coach Newton was doing his civic duty, kind of impromptu, when we were shooting our senior coaches show. Life has gotten in the way, and so we're going to recap here after graduation, talk through the season, talk about some of your special memories, things you want to highlight, and just really celebrate this really special group of guys that you had. Coach, let's just kind of go over the season really quick. 10-2, second round of the playoffs. Were there any defining moments there that you want to make sure that we talk about? The defeat of Austin was kind of spectacular, set the tone right off.
I think they came out and handled business. You know, a lot of our guys have ties to the Austin, Decatur area, and so they all know each other. And so there's one they wanted to win pretty bad, and as dominant as they were, Austin, ends up being a playoff team and rails off a bunch of wins in a row after that. So I mean, that was a good football team, and we were dominant, and that's usually not the case when we play Austin week one.
Absolutely, it was fun to watch. We were playing at their place too, and just the hype and how excited these guys were, and they were ready to play. So my first question for you is: you have 10 games in your regular season, your 2 playoff games. Those are several moments in time. However, and you know this as a coach, it's year-round. These guys are together all the time. Was there a moment, preseason, practice, that you knew this group was going to be special?
I thought this group was going to be special when they were coming out of 8th grade. It's going to be in 9th grade. And I remember telling them they're the first ones we had a separate football class for. And I remember telling them, if you guys stick together and y'all can be a really, really special group. And they were. They're one of the winningest groups in the last decade, and just a great senior class, good leadership, and I think they won every game in 8th grade, and they won every game in 9th grade, and they won every JV game, and again, last 3 years have been, second or third round playoff teams, or last 4 years, second or third round playoff teams, all 4 years. So a lot of those guys contributed on special teams, their freshman year, and then a bunch of them played, significant senior and sophomore year, and then almost all of them contributed something on your junior year. And then this year, every single one of them did something for our program. Every single one of them. So, and there was 28 of them, which is pretty cool. And almost all of them were with us the whole 4 years, with a few little bumps in the road there. But special group, just really special group.
Well, and that leads me to, I have the note here of family. They fought like family. They got along like family. They kind of, it seemed to me they embraced each other's flaws, just like, and almost celebrated them. Tell us about how close they were as a group and how they had each other's back. And then I want to lead that into practices, because this was the first group I've ever seen that said practice was fun, and you guys said practice was fun.
I think practice becomes fun when you have a lot of competition and you've got guys that understand, what the work is about, and he said practice is fun. Practice isn't always fun, but this group embraced it and knew they needed it, and you could do a lot of different things with them, because so many of them had so many reps and so much time in our program that you could do upper level things offensively and defensively, skill wise and scheme wise, and they embraced that and knew that was to their advantage. So. Again, fun group, practicing games, but Friday nights at JB Cain's fun in practice. I don't care what anybody says.
So what, if you could talk about the legacy that they left behind, what do you think that they have taught those coming behind them that they're going to leave? Every class, we love to think back to the class of 2022. They talk about their offensive proficiency and how good they were and how we outscored everybody. What were these guys? What are you going to remember, and what are they going to, your younger guys going to refer back
I don't know what the exact numbers are, but this group scored a bunch of points too, and was really, really good on defense as well. I know at certain points in time they've been ranked in the top, I feel like consistently, offensively and defensively, the last 2 years, 3 years maybe even. We've been top 5 defense scoring, top 5 offense scoring. So they got all that. So they've won a bunch of games, but they also have been dominant at times. But I think the biggest thing about them was their willingness to work together. And every team's going to have its own set of groups in there that are closer than others. But when it came time for them to come together, whether it was offense and defense or special teams or playing off each other, playing the right part, that they did that. And in the locker room and on bus rides and not necessarily like in the games. They were just a fun group to be around because they were so tight and we're together for so long.
Well, and I want to wrap up with a final. We want to go through some moments. So, do you have like a top 3 plays that we can highlight that you think were defining for this season? We all know that, for example, number 1 was the catch to win the game at Jasper.
So the Kane Falciani from Carly play action pass with less than 2 minutes to go. That got us down to, I think, the 6-yard line. Give us a chance to give us the go-ahead score in a really, really tough place to play. It's funny, when we played certain places, when we play at home, we win by 25, 30, whatever. And then, you go there the next year or the year before, and even though I think the teams aren't that different, you win one-score games.
Right.
And Jasper's one of those places, which is a compliment to them. It's a tough place to play. They have their own referee association, and so to come out of there with a win and secure a home playoff game was huge. So that's one of them. Another offensive play would be the post, our first touchdown of the season, where I felt like Austin knew about Kane and kind of knew about some of our other receivers, and Braden Weathers catches a post for the first touchdown of the season from Carter Lee, and Carter Lee throws it perfect, and it was great play action off of it. That was another, I think, defining play. And then, just staying on the offensive side, anytime that Jaden or Jaheim got going and we're running the rock, and it just sets everything up because they always fall forward. They always get tough yardage. They always ran through people. And they were really dynamic. So even though there's no like just unbelievable play, it's just like a collection of their work for the last 2 years of just grinding out games and making people to tackle them late and us running the football down people's throat late. And that's almost more rewarding than one big play to me. Defensively,
I had a great defensive line.
Yeah, we did. There were a bunch of them to play. A bunch of them made a bunch of plays, and our linebackers did well too. Chris Hudson was unbelievable safety. Both the senior corners were great. So, I can't pick one play, but they were a really consistent unit and gave up very, very few points. Even in the games where we gave up points, it wasn't really all of them. It was usually either off a turnover or something going on, otherwise. So, defensively, just the consistency and the level of that Coach Cole was able to call at, calling things late and disguising things and bringing exotic pressures and coverages. And that group was a big part of that.
Well, and it seems to me, listening to what you have to say, that this group was selfless.
Yep.
They really bought into the team concept, and we'll have a great memory for you and your staff. So if you got a final statement for them, we'll throw it on the broadcast, and we'll wrap up the 2025 football season.
Hey, great job, 2025 seniors. Great job graduating every single one of you with the 2026 class. Love you guys. Go Tigers.
I'm here with our QB1 and our co-offensive coordinator and former QB, because I got some questions about that today on the show. Last group of our senior group. So it's good that we end with our quarterback.
Yeah.
Mr. Consistency. I was looking through your stats. You averaged 70% completion. Really didn't have a game that was just like, oh gosh, we got to work on that. It was something we could count on. We knew that Carter was going to have a good game. But I noticed during the games when things would get kind of crazy that you would mumble something to yourself. And I didn't address it in the coaches show because I didn't want anybody to know about it. But we're going to talk about it on the senior thing. What were you saying? Some sort of affirmations and stuff like that. So what were you talking about?
So like if just a play went bad or I threw a bad ball or, made the wrong read, I just kind of told myself to, kind of calm down, not to get too high. I'd get too low, just kind of be even kill. Kind of, I'd breathe in or out 2 or 3 times just to, regain everything, my mind back, and just told myself to calm down a little bit. Everything's all right.
It's self-soothing. He's Spurberizing. I don't know if you know what that is, but
No.
psychological sir. Anyway, it's been a day. We've been out here for a while. So, Carter's always teaching us something. And one of the funniest moments of the season, and something that we just kind of honed in on, just basically because you tried to make my poor substitute stroke out, was the fact that I didn't know that they waxed footballs, right? Did you do this when you were playing? And we had you on the coaches show. You can go back because this will all be on that same YouTube channel where we actually had a demonstration.
We took my class on a field trip. I watched a YouTube video about the NFL because I learned about it. So, what did you do?
I personally did not do them. Coach Orr did them. He kind of. I went down there. I don't remember what period of the day it was, but went down there at some point and gave the thumbs up. But I personally did not have to do that. So, but most every quarterback I know has somebody that's gonna wax or doctor them up in some shape, form, or fashion. It definitely helps.
Well, I just thought it was cool. I had no idea. I learned something new. What was one moment, Carter, that Coach Lane just kind of caught you off guard, surprised you? Because you're both kind of even keeled. We know he's kind of the wizard. He and Coach Prater have this great symbiotic relationship, and they have the little card and they've discussed it all. And Coach Rogers earlier in the show referenced your 295-page offensive playbook.
I think it's 293. I could be wrong, but I think it's 293.
Well, and he said that he made a cheat sheet, and you referenced absolutely none of it during his first practice.
That sounds about right.
Which was awesome. Yeah, we talked about you being Mr. Consistency. Usually, Coach Lane, he's one of the most consistent coaches on the staff. When has he ever caught you off guard? Have you ever been just like, what are you doing? Or something that surprised you, maybe?
I mean, you just get fired up for practice sometimes, practice would get heated sometimes. We all get fired up, but other than that, no, not really. I mean, in the game, we were all, on the sideline and just, we were both just kind of calm the whole time, just trust each other. And so, no, not really.
What's something he's done in the game that you were like, that's my dude? That just really, his play's been kind of consistent. So, but it's consistently good. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't consistently bad. But
Definitely consistently good. No, some of the things that, quite honestly, I was shocked on some of the field out throws that he threw. Because just growing up, he didn't have the strongest arm, and really the last 2 years he came a long way throwing the football. But to throw from the hash and throw a field out or a field throw, and do it from the pocket is tough. And I won't say I never thought, but he actually learned to really like the throw. And I guess that was a shock for me. There was a couple times, I know he threw one in Muscle Shoals game, Coleman game. That's the one I'm thinking of. Where I'm like, holy crap, that is a fantastic throw. And a lot of times I'm saying it as the ball's in there. It's like, holy crap, that's a great throw. So some of those that, to be honest, I was shocked at times. But like I've said really all year on all these shows, is he's going to work to get better at everything. And that's just how I told him that after the game, the Homewood game. Your willingness to just work and consistently do things, and it's not, you notice the daily getting better shows up eventually, right? And that's a credit to him. So just no, to answer your question, not a whole lot other than field outs that I knew he'd work to be successful. So,
what's your best call? What was his best call of the season?
I don't know. He had some good when we ran the bus routes. Jaden Jaheim. All right, so it's been a while, but anyways, we call pink, which being play action. So I'd fake the run.
Change the names of the play calls here.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe the wheels turning.
Yeah, sorry. Well, the play action or whatever, we play action, and the back would act like the run and just go into a little route. Some of those were good, and then big posts. I really like those. I really enjoyed throwing big posts, and then some fades. I enjoyed throwing the fade.
How did you feel? We talked about Kane in the Jasper game when you almost gave everybody else a heart attack. Talk us through that. That's where you're from,
right? That's where I'm from. It was good to be back in the hometown. They had a really good crowd. We had a really good crowd, so it was just really loud. Their band was going, but that last drive, I had full confidence. But that second down play when he met me and Jaheim at the mesh point and kind of knocked the ball out, I was like, and then the third down, I complete a 5-yard pass to Jade on a check down. Then I was like, all right. I was like, this is it. This is life or death right here. And I was like, I'm gonna win this ball game. So we called the play in. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to K. So just because Trust
Was
Sam.
that an RPO or was that definite? This is it. If he falls down, it doesn't matter pretty much. You're gonna pull it and just hope for the best.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I always wondered about that. See,
There was technically two other options, but I mean, we all know we all knew we were going. So
gotcha. What has this guy taught you?
Just to be very consistent and positive. He comes to practice every day, trying to teach me everything, and just has always been helpful. So he's been there for me, just text me all the time, he's just always been there just to be there for somebody and try to mentor somebody. It was just really, really helpful.
Let's talk about our favorite moment this season. It doesn't have to be game time. It can be anything. Both of y'all, what's your favorite moment?
Watch it play.
practice wise, let me start there because he won't even know this. I'm pretty sure it was the Austin game. So we had some based off the structure of Austin's defense. We have basically the field out throw that we don't practice a whole lot against us. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it was Austin week where he made like a layered throw over Braylon Swokes in practice. And I don't even know if he remembers this or not, but he gave the old Shooter McGavin, finger gun there and looked and like spun around and looked. And I was like, all right, this dude's going to be ready to. And I didn't even say anything to him at the time, but when I watched it, I was like, all right, he's ready. We're good. He's ready. And so I love that part of practice. That's probably my best practice memory, I guess you could say, this year of him in particular. And then as far as games, he was so consistent all year. Like you said, there was no game where it was just a bad game. Was he on more games or off a couple times? But there was no bad game in there. Obviously, for him, Jasper, I loved because I know what that meant to him. I thought he played really well in Muscle Shoals as well. I know there was some turnovers in there, but given how good that defense was, I was really, really proud of him there. So just all year long, man, it's been so fun coaching him just because you get the same person every single day, and I've loved that part.
Well, he's got a good personality.
Any day, yeah.
Even though I'm saying that, yeah. He knows in my class. He's got no, you really, you had a good personality. What's going to be your favorite moment?
Definitely the Jasper moment. I remember, just winning that and, went over to Coach Lane, can't say I was sad, but, we're super excited is all I'm going to say, and then definitely just like the first game of the season, just definitely like after I threw my first touchdown and I was just super excited when back to the tent, I was just fired up and, I just felt like, it'll be a great season after that, so.
Well, and let's talk really quick. Yeah, I know it's about the seniors, but you were on the sideline.
Yeah.
If you played quarterback any other season, wave that.
Oh.
You had played quarterback any other season, you could have waited at him because he was going to be up at the box. So, are you going to stay down there? Do you like it better?
There's parts that I really like on the sideline. I miss the atmosphere tremendously. And I didn't realize how fun it is on the sideline compared to the box. But there's also some advantages being up top as well. So I don't know. It's too early to make that call for next year. I'm glad. I don't know. I thought that just my eyes were in different spots when I'm on the sideline versus when I was up top. I felt like this year I needed to be down. And I'll make that move from this point forward if I need to. But if I can go up, I'll go up. Just I feel like I'm probably a little better from up top, but I'll come down if I need to. And I liked what I liked the most was just seeing the huddle, seeing the camaraderie on the sideline. That was some memories that I'll cherish there.
It was one of the happiest sidelines that I've seen. I mean, not happy, but I mean, you guys, everybody cheered for each other.
Yeah.
And you don't always see that, especially someone that's on the outside. You can hear what people are saying that they don't think other people are hearing. You never heard anything negative.
Right.
Everybody was that mudita. We were as happy for that person that scored as we would be for ourselves. And that was really fun to watch. What you want to tell people to remember, 5 years you're going to be watching this. What kind of advice you got to give and what you want to remember?
I just want to remember, taking the field every Friday night, even throughout the week, just with my friends, my guys, those 27 seniors, we all just came like brothers, I got outside of football, went and ate, just did a lot of things together. And then some advice I have for nerd kids, just stay consistent, take your time to put in the work. Try to be better each and every day. If you have a bad day, just stay calm because better days will come. Just stay consistent and keep working and just be yourself.
That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to be yourself. Be yourself. All right. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you. Okay, we're with our next group, our rover and our safeties. We got our defensive coordinator, Coach Matthew Cole. We got Cole Miles. Got Chris Hudson. We got old Max Hembry sitting here beside me. All right, guys, I'm going to ask y'all some questions. This is going to be like a time capsule of sorts. So remember what you say is going into perpetuity. And but we want to capture your memories so you can go back and see this later. Max, I want to talk about you and your record that we have on the stat sheet. Max is here with the defense. Max is also statistically our leader on the team for the season in yards per rush. Tell us about those jet sweeps, averaging 14.5 yards per rush.
It was a very random week in Coach Langley camp too, talking about the jet sweep because I thought he was just joking at first. And we ran those 10 and we got, what was it, 4.5 first year, which was great for me, and then a touchdown. That was from the highlight of my season.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody gets to school, right? Coach, I was talking to Coach Lang about that. I know you were around it in the team meetings, and then I said, why did you guys put Max on the other side of the ball, want to run the jet sweep? He said, because we all love Max Hembry. We really wanted to see him shine. We really wanted to create a play for it. So tell me what went into that.
Nothing went into it on mine. I didn't know he was doing that until he went out there and got the ball. Well, but I was excited for Max. Max has come to work every day since the entire time, and so I think that's deserved to be rewarded, and it was awesome. And once again, I know we talked about this on the show before, but when you watch our sideline when he scores,
You're correct.
it kind of speaks to what they think of Max and just the teammate that he's been and those type of things.
And Mr. Hudson, one of the funniest moments that everybody continues to recall occurred during championship plays when your last name was changed. Do you want to highlight that? Because this is going to be a time capsule. Coach Dixon referred to you as Chris LeMay. And what makes it funnier is I think people talk more about Coach Newton getting tickled and couldn't quit laughing once he had done it. So let's just relive that moment.
Well, he did the play, and I was like, okay, yeah, they're gonna show a good play, and then all of a sudden he says Chris LeMay, and I look at him, I'm like, he planned that. There's no way he didn't just say that just out of nowhere. And so I go like, are we serious? And he's like, he looks at me, he's like, what do you mean? I was like, you called me Chris LeMay. And he just busts out my shirt, starts dying laughing. Couldn't stop. It ended championship plays, but couldn't do it anymore. Everyone's just laughing so hard. So it was good.
But that's a good memory. We want to remember.
Right, it was great. Awesome.
Cole, I gotta ask you about this. How cool was it when you would score to look down on the sideline and to see your dad? I know he's been such a part of your athletic career, and we covered a lot of, just you playing football and baseball. But let's talk about the relationship with your dad.
I would say with me and him in sports, it's a love-hate relationship between both of us. He's my biggest critique because he wants me to be the best that I can be, and he's always throwing bat in practice. He's always there when I need him, and I just appreciate him. I don't know if he thinks I do, but I appreciate him. All he's done for me and throughout my sports career, and I would like to say I appreciate him doing it. So,
Well, and now you got it on tape.
Yep.
It's safe forever.
yep. He probably won't believe me, but
Well, it's here.
he might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've checked that box. Coach, I want to ask you a question about this guy in the middle. If he was 6'3", would we be signing today?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
100%.
Tell us about how he plays with intensity.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was asking Coach to talk about.
Oh yeah, I've said this throughout the season and then last season also with people that don't really know, don't really understand, and they will throw balls across the middle. All right. Our offense that practices against him every day, the people that we play every year, they know where 17's at. And just a playmaker all around. It gets the hits and those kinds of, that gets what people talk about the most. But I can pull up just as many clips of him getting to a fade ball outside the numbers from the middle of the field. So just everything that you would want in a safety and erasing folks across the middle is right up there to the top of the list.
Cole, can you tell me what a UGBA is?
Ugba.
UGBA.
Well, so I was the oldest player in my position group, and Owen Newton, Holland Hurley, and Braylon Stokes thought it would be funny to call me Unc because I was the only senior. And so they said UGBA, and it stands for Unc's a good boy. Don't know why they said that, but actually I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, the giggles I got from Owen Newton begging me to ask you that question because I knew I would.
That was just told me that.
Yes, he goes, "Oh, he will love it." I was like, "Okay, are you sure?" He goes, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." Well, I mean, you'll see him later. Maybe
Yeah.
y'all can talk about.
I'll have to bring it up to him.
What has this guy taught you guys? I'm talking about the guy on the end of the hat.
That is. Well, let's start off. Every single day in Fun Day, we did the exact same thing for 4 years. It was, you get on the line.
Well, tell everybody what Fun Day is.
So Fun Day is like fundamentals, just like cut down, like abbreviation, Fun Day. So it's kind of like the best / worst period of the day. And every day we'd do line drills. We'd always start line drills or whatever, back pedal. He'd do his little, you hear his little shake thing with the ball. And then we'd go back and then it'd always do, what's it called? Drive the alley. We'd always drive the alley every single day. And then maybe, what's it called? Shock. Not shock. Yeah, shock release every day. And we do ball drills.
I do want while you're.
And mirror drill.
Well, he's more predictable in practice with what he would do than he is in this interview with what he's going to say. I mean, we're all sitting on the edge of our seat with interviews. We're predictable.
He's pretty predictable in practice because we had the same thing. Much more unpredictable, as he just said, shock release, which I've never said in my entire coaching career. We did blow delivery release.
Also, that the same
Young release, I've never said that, not one time. So he's just kind of made that up on his own. So that's very unpredictable. But no, it was predictable in pre. You knew what you were getting. And like I said, I've said this with every fun group to be around. So we had our moments to where we had a good time. But then when we ready to get to work, they knew how to get to work too.
Max, what'd you learn from sexual?
Everything starting you were my coach in 7th year, weren't you? 7th, right? Nah, I think, yeah. Well, he's telling me everything I'm on, and I'd be in the firing today. I would not be without him with it.
Even with the trips to Cowboys, yeah. We're not going to talk about those.
I'll sometimes like take a trip to the Cowboys.
Sometimes, well,
Hey, don't know. Rendacia took his picture of us walking, and I was like, oh no, this can't be good.
something right. What about you?
Not only can he coach, he can sing. I've been to the church a couple times, and he's a good singer.
We gotta go.
Last year we beat Coleman, and in the locker room we were saying, what was it? Amazing Grace. And he's leading us to that. But I feel like for my 4 years, he's always been kind of the secondary coach for me. And then when Coach Jim was the DC, or when he became DC, he kind of was still working with the secondary more than anything else. And I think like this whole group we kind of learned everything from him and our position groups like Coach Boy and Coach Bray. But I think he trusts us a lot, the secondary or play man, and be where we're supposed to be. So I think that's all a credit to him and what he's put in for practice and preparation for the games.
All right, I got 2 final questions to kind of ask you guys. First, I want to go through and let's talk about our favorite memory of the season. And it doesn't have to be on the field. It could be something you're going to want to remember 5 years from now. Let's talk about that first. What's your favorite memory?
Definitely my touchdown against Fulham because how line it went at the end was crazy.
You could have won the game on the last second. I don't
Yeah.
think they would have been more excited. It was awesome. All right, Hudson.
Can Cole go first?
Yeah, sure.
I'll probably the best one, but we were sitting in the locker room at halftime against Buckhorn, and Justin Donaldson came in the locker room, and he ended up quitting the team at the very beginning, and so we love Justin Donaldson. He's our guy, and we had his jersey hanging up in lockers, and we touch it before we go out. Or he's that type of deal. And first round playoffs, he just shows up in the locker room at half. Said his mom told him to come down and get in the locker room. We were like, hey, come on.
Do it for Donnie, right?
Rear for Donnie. And we all got riled up. We gave him his practice jersey. He wore his practice jersey on the sideline. He did. But I see that's probably the most fun moment I've ever had. It was him walking in the locker room. So that's my moment.
I kind of have two. One is like we've done it every year. It's the ice bath every Thursday. We do ice baths every Thursday. I'd always take the same ice bath every week. It was amazing.
With Cole.
With Cole.
And a little toad.
And it felt great. I'd never go into the water, but he'd always go in there first. It was really, really good.
We always do like a picture. Yeah.
It was like a spiritual thing. Like it just like set the mood for the game. And then the other was, I think it was right before the Austin game. I think it's still up there. Right before the Austin game, we're getting ready for partner stretch, and someone flips a bottle, and it lands. It's on top. It lands on top of the metal, and it's still up there.
Yeah,
sitting up there. Like no one's touched it since. So I doubt no one's gonna get it. It's just sitting up there straight up.
Not interceptions. Not anything like that. We flipped a bottle through Carter's show.
It was legendary, and then ice baths,
And the ice baths that you took with Cole.
and they felt good.
And our fats are mostly for recovery, and I love that he had a spiritual movement with it. But it's more for muscles and recovery and things like that. And so, yeah, but what's your memory? But it was spiritual for you. It's not spiritual for me. I had to, I helped Chris with music in ice baths.
Yes.
So he would veer off the, mat for a little while with his music. But no, same thing I've said with most. Like it's a fun group to be around. Number one, but it's going to be a group that I miss. I just we've had a good time. We like a lot of laughs, and when it came time to go to work, we weren't perfect, we weren't right a lot of the time, but with this group on defense, you knew when the pads went on, right, wrong, or indifferent, they were going to run and they were going to hit. And that's fun to coach when you're on defense.
Well, and you could tell the whole staff and the team had fun. Everybody was bought in because y'all had such a good time.
And I know they keep saying this about defense, but offensively, was the same. That's why our practices ended up a lot of times the way they did, because we were physical on offense too. And I'm not trying to hijack the questions here too, but like Coach Miller wasn't able to be here, so Cole may talk about what Coach Miller's meant to. He had to stay at the junior high for his classes.
Yeah, tell us about. I'm glad you said that. Tell us about what it was like. What did you learn from Coach Miller? What did he teach?
It was always fun because I've had him from freshman all the way up, and it was kind of just fun. I mean, he wasn't the type to really get on you over little things, but he kind of give you some leeway. So he knows you're in high school and he knows you make mistakes. But I would say he's probably one of my favorite coaches, easy, just because he's chill, laid back, always making jokes. But when it's time to play, he's intense. So that's what I like about him. And he trusts me in different situations. He'll put me at spur if we need me on the strong side of the field, and he'll keep me at rover if we need me. So I just appreciate all he's done for me, and just the way he's been able to coach me this 4 years.
Okay, guys, this is your moment. Tell the guys coming up what you value about this, why they need to experience what you experience. Just a final statement, if you want to, for the chefs.
I'll definitely say keep showing up to practice and never miss. Cause say you miss on a Thursday or Wednesday, definitely not having much playtime Friday, and just be a good teammate and show up every day.
And you can score a touchdown.
Yeah, yeah.
I would tell them to just keep the intensity like we have in the past 4 years. Show up every day, like Max said, and keep your coaches happy.
I would say probably don't take it for granted. I'd say I know the practices do suck, but enjoy it, especially those cold practices where you can wear sweatshirts. Those are kind of fun. But just I'd say enjoy it. You know,
What about the one where the head coach challenged you to wear shorts
I didn't have a right
during your
shirt.
degrees?
I didn't wear shorts. I didn't but I didn't hear him actually say that. He probably said that's like linebackers, but I mean I was wearing pants and the shorts. That's all it is.
Well, all right. Well, tell me this. I did want to hit on it. You signed D1 baseball scholarship. But you played football. Tell us why that's important.
I mean it's just it was fun to play. I mean I would play football if you can. It's not really an experience like the other sports. I mean it's 1 day a week and it's in front of the biggest crowd you'll play.
You played baseball.
I do. I loved it
Why is this important?
because it's just it's like Cole said. The experience in football is like nothing else.
Like the crowd for football is like the state championship crowd. Like you said that.
It's insane every week. You don't know every week you can't even like hear yourself on that field. It's just loud, it's intense, and it's another feeling like I don't think I'll ever experience a feeling like that again.
Unless you're taking ice baths with
Unless you're taking sport. Yeah. Let's spiritual.
virtual assets. Okay. Well, then better I thought. Okay. All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, guys.
It was good. When he
All right, we're here with our fullback / tight ends here on our senior recap show. And I have Coach John Rogers. We got Coy Waynick, Ethan Haynes, and then Wesley Evans. You want to tell him where he is today?
Chorus competition.
Student athlete. We're well rounded around here. So Coy, let me start with you. Season ending injury, got the brace on. I know football isn't your end game, but I know you're going to take a lot from it and you're going to learn from it. So what did you learn from this season and this experience?
I would say probably discipline and the importance of like relationships. A lot of the guys on the team I'm like still best friends with, even though I missed half the season, didn't really show up to any practices because I couldn't. And the discipline too, one from football, the working out, practices, showing up on time, but also like now discipline with physical therapy and sticking to those plans. So
That's awesome. Ethan, you're my next question. I talked to a lot of the players. I have them in class. We have them on the coaches show, and it's repeated over and over and over. I love having that guy on my team. He's my best teammate. I'll do anything for Ethan Haynes. So what can you say about it? How does that make you feel?
I mean, I have to say the same thing about everybody on the team. It's just I like making an impact on everybody I can be around and trying my hardest and showing them what it's like to, be a Hartsville Tiger.
Well, and Coach, I've known you for a couple of years, and you are known for anything but you have a unique personality, and you always coin a term that seems to be repeated by your other coaches, right? This year's term was, do y'all remember? War Daddy. So I want to know, did War Daddy come from, I assume you're referring to Lafayette Poole, the guy from World War II, the tanker. So did you see this from the movie Fury? Or I believe there's a YouTube broadcast called Fat Electrician that he's dedicated just to being a War Daddy. So can you tell us where that came from?
I'm a big fan of the movie Fury, but I did not get it from like there. I'd already heard the term War Daddy. Like I guess it was maybe my 6th year coaching. Anyways, I worked for a crazy guy, and anyways, he was a D-line. He was a big D-line guy, and anyways, he'd talk about War Daddy all the time. And I, finally I was like, what are you, referring to as that? And then he explained it. It was basically a guy. It was definitely a player
that plays in the box, but plays at a high level and plays violently, you know? And so thus the term War Daddy, and I kind of stole it from him. I took it and ran with it.
Also, I've heard it repeated quite a bit. Guys, let's go back. Let's talk about Coach Rogers here. He's eccentric, to put it mildly. And when I looked at your player group and knew that he was going to be your coach, I kind of had a giggle because I thought it was great. Because you guys, y'all are quiet personalities, right? So what is the craziest thing that he's done that you can talk about on YouTube to be put into perpetuity? What did you do that when y'all went to the locker room together? This guy's our coach. What did he do?
Probably the first day of fall camp, we'd been with Coach McCann before that, and he was like laid back a little bit. Our funnies were pretty easy. And then the first day of fall camp, he made us get down on our knees and hit each other with our heads the whole time. That's probably crazy.
We hit with our face, not our head. Not the crown, but our face.
So, shit. With your ACT drops. Yeah. You guys are on me. So we don't want to go that way. Coach, what was different? You've always been a defensive coach, right? Yeah. Most of the time. So what was it like moving to the other side of the ball? And then you got literally, I think, the quietest group of people, personality wise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, at the end of the day, ball is ball. Football is football. The one thing from moving from defense to offense was, I guess the biggest thing for me, was all the tags, the terminology that you have to know within our offense, because our offense literally is 295 pages long. That's the playbook. I mean, it's extreme a lot. I remember sitting about 2 hours, my second day here, with Coach Prater and Coach Lang. And anyways, I had this, cheat sheet that I done wrote out for me, and I was ready to go on third day. I'd already studied it and everything. And the first call that Coach Lang, we was going through walkthrough stuff, none of those tags is on my sheet. And I just kind of leaned into it and said, it's not on the sheet. He goes, yeah, it's probably not going to be either. So I was like, okay. So I just kind of stuck that in my pocket. But as far as, coaching offense and defense, on offense, everyone has to, all 11 have to do correctly, or that it's not going to be successful. On defense, you can have one or two guys maybe not fit right and this play somewhat be successful, okay? But on defense, you have to have a better football skill set. That's the biggest difference. So it is a little more difficult on offense, I would say. But like I said, it's a little more difficult on the defensive side of the ball because your skill set has to be really good.
Gotcha. Question for all three of y'all. Favorite memory from this season? It doesn't have to be on the field. It could be off the field. What do you want? Because this is going to be a time capsule, right? We want to capture those memories. So what do you think back and you smile thinking about this season?
Mine was probably when me and Corey were both hurt and Tyler May got in and he played really good the first round of the playoffs.
I'll say my favorite memory is probably just the Austin game, just hot going into it and then just dominating the whole game. That was probably some of the most fun football I've ever played. And it was really fun because it was first time I've really got to play out with Ethan on the field pretty consistently. So
for me, it's not one moment. I think I look at the the whole course of the season, and for one, being able to coach these guys that I get to coach, like Ethan Haynes, it comes full circle because I coached his brother Jade, and that was really special. And because all those guys have been blessings to me, Corey's been a blessing to me in my life. But the biggest thing, I feel like these guys are a little bit of a dying breed, and a lot of this senior class is a dying breed, like far as high school football goes. Guys that want to show up, guys that want to do it right, guys that's going to play hard, and you start seeing that. That's hard to find in high school football nowadays. It's getting a little less each year, and these guys are that dying breed. And anyways, I'm just glad to be a part of it with them.
It's definitely been a family. Guys, what would you get to have a last statement here. What would you tell those coming up about your experience, about what kind of a family this was, and how you want to remember your football season?
Definitely stick to it. It's going to be hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, you'll love everybody you played this and love again football.
Yeah, about the same thing. Your relationships, the brotherhood you make with these guys is something you'll never forget. And even though those early mornings, those hard workouts, it's a whole lot better just being with all those other guys because they're doing it too.
I get the same question too.
If you want to.
I say take that blueprint
that all these coaches give you and run with it and make the best of it. And what you do when people aren't looking really matters.
And be award at it.
And be a war daddy. Absolutely.
All right. We thank you for your time. We'll be right back. All right. We're here with our offensive line. This is always a fun group. We got Coach Prater, Coach Garner. We got Jalen Grissom, who I'm going to refer to as J-Dog, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Got Elijah Gillian. You got Nolan Carroll. And guys, I'm going to start with you, J-Dog. You started out as Jalen. Now you're J-Dog. If I refer to a kid on the football team that's name is Jalen, nobody knows who I'm talking about. If I say J-Dog, they know. So are you prepared to go through life as J-Dog from now on? Because, it's got to stick.
It started when I was like 5, and I've been called it ever since. So I don't foresee it stopping me anytime soon.
It's going to be great on your driver's. Is it on your driver's license? Or
No, I wish. It's kind of illegal to put a nickname on your driver's
You
license.
also you can get it changed for like $30.
Really,
My dad
30
was a
bucks?
judge,
And that might be a good way to spend 30
a
bucks.
field trip for the offensive line. Go to the courthouse with
Yeah.
your name change.
Get my name changed.
You're
I was
just sitting there going,
Don't encourage.
I'm supposed to ask you this question. The apocalypse. Supposedly during the huddle on the field during the game, I knew about the kangaroo battles. Okay. They're not talking about the play coach. They're talking about how big of a kangaroo he thought he could beat up. And then the apocalypse. So explain to us about the apocalypse. Yeah, I thought they were talking about who you were going to fight, but that's not it. So what is it?
So, as any team, we have extensive debate on really important matters, such as if I could beat up a 5'9", 190-pound kangaroo, or who would survive the apocalypse the best, even. And there's no better place to talk about than the huddle, because everybody's right there, And, yeah, I think
What did y'all come up with? By the way, for the older generation, I did segue and we did watch Bull Durham and the Pitch and Mound scene just so they could understand that this happens in all sports. But go ahead.
we concluded that Cash Hudson would die first.
Yep.
I
And
can see that. Can't run real fast in the crops.
no,
No.
and we conclude that us three actually would make a great team, and we think we could do it off our builders with relative ease.
That's pretty good. Coach, what did you have to say about that? Who do you think is gonna?
I have no comment on any of these things, but people wonder why I have so much gray hair and I keep getting more every day. These are reasons why.
Y'all are getting gray hair.
Yes.
We try not to.
They actually have gotten a lot better, but yes.
And I heard that there was a field trip to Hickory Heights. holiday.
visiting.
You wished them a happy Thanksgiving.
Unannounced. That's
Okay.
always nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Okay.
And it's a little chat. We sent them to Coach Lang's house, man.
What's your favorite Matt Praterism, Elijah?
Where, probably sitting under the tent and like when I'm zoned out, sitting over there, and he'll gaze over at me real quick, and he'll go, "Quit pouting." And I kind of think I'm like, well,
What about you? Now I'm going to tell you, Reed Ellis currently has the record of, hey, let's do it again and make sure it's not a miracle, right? When you get something right. Does he still do that?
He's changed a lot over the last 4 years, but one thing he's kept is it's always 2 reps to move on. I mean, if you do it right one time, you better do it right 2 times, so it's not a fluke. And that has not changed in the slightest.
Well, tell us something that nobody understands about the offensive line. How complicated it really is. Because I honestly had no idea on the same page. And that you're just blocking the person directly in front of you.
yeah, it's a gap scheme.
And things can change in the middle of the play based on who you block. Every defense is different, so you're learning. You know the same plays, but they apply completely different week by week. And depending on how they line up, they can line up this way and this way. That play's completely separate than it would be otherwise. And so it's I feel like the offensive line is seen as a lot of physical work,
but just as much mental work and fundamentals and like walkthroughs going to it to make sure we're all on the same page.
And how do you think that's helped you guys get ready for life after football?
Well, you got to do everything right. You can't just halfway do something. You got to start from the beginning and finish it out and move on to the next.
It's taught us how to be adaptable and change to any situation.
Now, Coach Garner, I'm going to include you in this. The one thing about this group is it's probably some of the most diverse personalities, right? They're all unique, and of course, they're led by the infamous Coach Prater, good or bad. No, actually, it's probably, y'all, you really do have a lot of positive things to say. We give them a hard time, but y'all have a lot of great things to say. And how did you this is your second year with the crew. Tell me about your experience.
It's
He starts
I'm not gonna comment on Prater's personality because he's one of my bosses. But no, they're a lot of fun. This group is fun. Like, I think every day we were just wondering what hairstyle Nolan was gonna come in with this year. But no, they've been a ton of fun. They were fun from the first day I got here last year, and they're definitely nuts, but they are a ton of fun.
Yeah, and Coach, let's parlay off of that nuts thing. You got to get 5 people, at least 5, with different personalities that are all a little wackadoo to do what they're supposed to do, and it's always different on every single play. It's not repetitive. So I know the gray hair is a thing, but how do you make that work?
Well, a lot of that's a testament to Liam. I mean, it's just like they just said, things that they've learned that they'll take from this is, when you first start out, and you can ask any of them, I'm sure, and if they go back and think about their freshman year or their sophomore year, there was a lot of yelling and everything's happening really, really fast. And why is this guy continuously yelling at me? But as they learn and they repeat and do things over and over and over, they start to learn how to do it. And then, this group, including the 2 young guys, the 2 sophomores that were out there, we can get into games and make series to series adjustments on top of, like, we had opponents this year that we may prepare all week. This is how they're going to play this formation, or this is how they're going to play this technique versus this block, blah, 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 blah. And then we get in on Friday night and it's totally different. Well, if they don't have the experience and the knowledge to fall back on, then we're going to struggle the whole game. And that wasn't the case with these guys, because they are all 2-year starters, Nolan being a 3-year starter. They have the repetition in it and the knowledge in it that they could fall back and be like, look, they're doing this, so we have to change to what we're doing here. And that adaptability is big. And so that allows us to continually be successful, even though things are constantly changing.
Well, and that was a really good explanation. Let's talk about each of these guys. What did they bring to the table?
Collectively or individually?
Individually.
Okay.
Where's that time capsule? And for that time capsule, if you look at the media guide, he has white hair, and he had cheetah print.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they all bring uniqueness, but they all brought, one of the things they all did, they all showed up every day, worked hard every day, were coachable, even with me being on them about every little thing they could. I mean, I'm sure they felt like they couldn't breathe without me saying something. But those things they all possess. Now, individually, their individual, J-Dog has his own little jokes that he likes to do, some phone call things we've all talked about, but all of them bring something unique. I really don't know how to explain it. Just being around them, they're all themselves. They all have jokes that they tell. They all have a, good attitude about things. It's just a good group.
Well, and I know Elijah brings a quiet confidence, to the line. But I remember what you said about Nolan. You told us off camera, of course, that y'all all showed up at his house, right? And he goes, you know what? That dude's going to invent something one day, and he's going to be richer than all of us. So he really thinks that about you guys.
No, I say I won't tell him that. That's appreciated.
You did.
I'm just kidding.
You did, and I did.
No, I know.
I did.
I know.
Now, he's really proud of you guys. And I have a special opportunity to see that because I hound him all the time about football stuff. Let's go through and talk about your favorite memory from the season. It doesn't have to be football. You guys been watching the guys off camera. What are you going to take away from this? What do you want to capture on our YouTube video?
Well, I had a lot of fun all 4 years of football. The OTAs were really fun. Those are probably some of my favorites. Obviously, us going to eat at B-Dubs. And probably my favorite is after B-Dubs when we go run around Academy. Cause a ruckus. But yeah, I just really like the time we spent together outside of football as a team, as a unit.
Like Noah was saying, with time spent outside of football, I like to get together on Tuesdays at the Jaden's house or Coach Muton's house or wherever it was at. It was just really nice. And all the team meals, just everyone being together and the energy and just the environment. Everyone's talking, having a good time and laughing. Or it's just a family I'm going to miss and to being part of. And yeah.
Yeah, the same for me. I just enjoyed like being around them every day, and like they watch me grow up, I watch them grow up, and I watch them turn into who they are, and they watch me turn into who I am. So I'm definitely gonna miss the brotherhood, and I'm definitely gonna miss just putting on the pads, on going out there, walking out with them, and just doing what I love the most with them.
What about you, Coach? What was your favorite moment in the season? Both coaches.
I just enjoyed being around this group. I know Coach Robinson talked about it in his little thing earlier. This place is special. I think I told him that in every offensive meeting we had, how thankful I was to be here, be around them, because these kids just work. That's all they want to come in, they want to work, and they want to win. And we had great coaches on staff. I know Coach Prater's taking a lot of heat in these interviews, but we have great coaches on staff. They do a great job. And just being around this group was a lot of fun.
Well, and they pick at him because he picks back, and he knows it's only good fun, and he knows there's a lot of respect there. And even I pick at him some. So I didn't outright call you a bully like Coach Fultz did, but
Just don't ever talk about that.
oh, tell us about your favorite memory.
For me, it's there's a lot of them, but just working with the guys and like they talked about being around them. I thought this group, I heard a lot of them have talked about some of their favorite moments were practice moments. Well, that doesn't happen unless you enjoy being around each other. And I think this senior class loved being around each other. Now, did they fight? They fought like brothers, which is going to happen. But they love being around each other. So it made it for all of us as coaches too. Every little moment that we were there together, whether it was practice or obviously winning games was important. But, all those situations, you valued them all. You enjoyed being around them all. So it's a lot of things, I thought one thing that I really, enjoyed for those guys was, like the Austin game this year, having it the way it went last year, losing in overtime, this year to go out and be kind of dominant in that game, and it being with new starters and, played really well in that game. I thought, it kind of set the tone for how the year went. So I thought that was an important moment. And there's more. Obviously, we talked about the Jasper game coming back when, things were a little dire. 4th and 9 is pretty dire. And coming back and scoring with as time is running out in that game, I thought, that's another big moment. But just overall, the spending time with them and the coaches as well, it's been a lot of fun.
I've been around the program a lot, not just this program, but in other entities as well. And you can tell when there's that cohesiveness and everybody appreciates the time that you have together and really enjoy it. And you guys were never out of a ball game. You were always in every ball game. So that's something to attest to your coaching staff and to your guys' effort. So let's go through. We'll wrap this up with you guys telling the future what they need to do, or if you don't want to give advice, then just talk about what you want to talk about. It's your moment.
I'd say the most important thing when you're going through your high school career is that you do it for your teammates, because if you're just doing it for yourself, when it gets hard, you're going to give up because it's only for yourself. But if you're doing it for everybody else who's doing it with you, then it'll be a lot easier.
There's things in there that are valuable that will teach you life lessons, and it'll make you tougher. It'll make you mentally tougher and everything, every lift and just every practice. Just listen to what they're saying, even if it is in a crazy tone, you should say.
Yeah, I'd definitely say like just be coachable, like just listen and trust them. And I'd also say like bring a good attitude because you're never gonna get better if you come in there with a bad attitude. Like if you just bring a good attitude and try to make the most of what you can, and you're always gonna be one step better each day, and that's how you win games and that's how you build a brotherhood because everybody's buying in.
And Cape players down there can't say anything. You keep anyone tell him.
Thank you, Coach Prayer. I know we really appreciate it. Everything you've done for us.
Yeah, I mean, what Rowan said, thank you. I mean, I know we've had our differences a few times, but still, you're one heck of a coach, and you're a way better player than I was in freshman year.
Yeah, I told him after the Homewood game, I said, I can't quite say what I said, but I said but I would never like want a different coach, and like, he's the reason I was as good as I am, and I was able to like play at a high level and like do and be successful out like.
You guys did a great job. I appreciate your time. I'll be right back. Okay, we're here with our running back crew and our co-offensive coordinator. We got Coach Will Lane, we got Jaden Morris, we got Jaheim Pruitt, and I do want to mention that Coach Gary Orr is. You want to tell everybody where he is?
Driving the bus.
He's on a field trip today, and as hard as it is to schedule all the coaches plus 27 senior players, we kind of got to do what we got to do to get everybody together. So, Coach Orr, we do miss you, and I've got some questions about you. These guys are going to be talking about you. But first, I'm going to ask you guys, I was asking around, and I told the other groups this, that I've asked the other players, questions about the team as a whole. And I said, who's our leaders? And they were like, Jean. They always break us down. They're always in the huddle. They're our guys. So tell me about that. When did you take this over? When did y'all decide to, I'm going to put the team on my back?
For me, I actually talked to my parents about it last year, I think like during spring training or something. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna like take this role like this year, like being senior and like, stepping up like to the younger guys. And I just remember it was like one practice. I think he broke it down first or something. And I think it was like practice he wasn't there or something happened. And I just came over, just broke it down, and just ever since then I just been breaking it down, just being a leader, being there for the guys who need it. So I mean, it came naturally, I'll say.
I think throughout my years, I got to watch a lot of leaders. Like I got to see a lot of people like Jack Smith and like just Rod and Lincoln and Zay and everybody. Like I got to be a part of all that and like be in it. And so I just try to be like all of them in one person, to be honest. Like not be like them, but I just watch them and do what they do.
What can you say about the fight this team has had this year?
Like fights and practice?
No, like on the field. Like, well, when you were talking about that, I thought about the 22 team is the team that keeps being brought up as a standard, right? And you guys didn't go as far in the playoffs and have the undefeated record, but I saw similarities with you guys because of the fight you had out there. In other words, the grit, the determination that I am going to die on this field. But
Well, I mean, that has a lot to do with the camaraderie between like the players on the team. Like that year, they were all like together and they all moved together and they all did everything together and they all like, they would fight for each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody were fighting Jaheim, I'm fighting for Jaheim. Like if somebody's fighting for Kane, we're both fighting for Kane, So it's about how you care for each other. And
Yeah. Definitely, like you said, they sound standard that year. I just remember, what's the name? Eli Tidwell. It was after the Mountburg game, and he like came up to me and all day. He was like, "Hey man, it's like you're gonna be good." He was like, "Be a leader. Like just tell me everything what I need to do to like be a role model for this team." And ever since then, just stuck with me. And like other guys like Trace, Caden Worley, Jake Haynes, like those type of guys, they set a standard for you. And I just know from ever since that year, 'cause I actually got to play like on varsity and on kickoff. So I don't know, just actually not just being on the team, but actually be on there on the field with them, just made it more special to me. So just coming to the senior year was just like, I'm gonna do what them guys didn't get to finish. It was just get the job done, just do as best as we can.
Well, and Coach, Let's ask you. I want to ask you about this. Out of all the Greeks, I really think these guys have kind of had some of the most significant growth, right? But not only as players, as young men. So, what can you tell me about that evolution that you've witnessed?
I mean, well, first they say it right. Like this bunch is very just they're just a close bunch, and they like being around each other, and they get after each other, which is I'm sure through the show you'll see. Like we loved that as coaches, and we're gonna miss that. Like that coaching these guys were a lot of fun, but it was because you never had to worry that they were intimidated or anything like that. But yes, personally, they grew a ton as well, right? Now, when they got here as freshmen, they were naturally athletic and loved to compete, so that kind of came natural. But the growth of like caring for each other, being there for each other, and understanding that ultimately it's about what happens on Friday, not don't get after each other on a Tuesday practice, right? But get there to Friday and we're all together. And so I think they've grown a grown man. What I've liked about these two in particular is like you can have grown man conversation with, right? You can't say that about every kid that walks across the stage. You can have a grown man conversation with. And that's credit to parents, of course, but also I think they've truly listened to us as coaches and trusted us as coaches. And that I appreciate very much.
Right. On the sideline, I'm going to ask you a casual question. On the sideline, when you guys are not on the field, when Steve Fant's on the field, I go and you watch all the groups go into their little areas and they chat with their coaches. I always would see you guys sitting with Coach Orr on either side. No one was ever yelling. No one was ever. It was just this great discussion. I was admiring because it was so good to watch that collaboration. What I want to ask you, what did he teach you that you're going to remember that maybe it's not even football wise that you're going to use?
Well, he's not a yeller, first of all.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But
You haven't watched Coach Girls basketball. Sorry, Coach.
But I feel like Coach Word taught us. Well, I know he taught me for real. You can't control everything, so stuff's gonna happen. You're gonna fumble. Certain things gonna happen and stuff like. It's like things gonna happen, so you just gotta pick your head up, just keep moving on. So that's why when we are on the sideline, something happened. Either we miss a hole or something. It's like either we just don't know it and we just, hey, you made a mistake. All right, fix it next play. That's it. So it really ain't got to go too much of like getting on to you. It's just like you just ain't know it. Just fix it the next time you get it done. So I just feel like just having that relationship with Coach just kept us calm and stuff. And I feel like his attitude towards us of like staying calm helped us to be able to lead the team and stuff. So it's like if we're not stressed out or nothing like that because of what we're doing, we're able to lead the other guys and get them calm and stuff as well. So
Coach Ward trusted us so much that we never really felt any pressure to, I guess, be great. We just go out there and play as hard as we could. He just knew that we would do what we needed to do to win. He trusted us in that. And I feel like that created a bond where we trusted him and he trusted us, and we just would get together and just talk to each other and be like, this is what we got to do, and this is.
And he have a saying or something that he would remind you?
I mean, not really. I mean, he would just tell us the basics, like, you know what I'm saying? Just be you, trust your blocks, and wrap up the football, and then just separate stuff.
Now, what was your best memory of you guys playing or practice? And Coach, you can talk about, because you got to watch them. When they did something, or it could be when they just completely screwed up. Remember, this is a time capsule, right? We're going to look back on this. Hopefully in about 5 years, you're going to just get bored one night, pull up the YouTube, and see what you guys look like and we're talking about.
I don't know. There's so many with Coach Ward. So many bus rods. Like, the bus rides just bickering at him, just hollering. But then also just, like, being on practice field and just goofing off with him. Like, he doesn't seem like it, but he's, like, one of the funniest people.
I really do.
But it's because he don't even try to be funny. It's just
Be dry.
Coach Ward is the best, like, funniest person ever. Place member there.
Coach, why don't you start? Yeah.
Well, first of all, like every day at practice, been talking about not having to yell at them. That's a credit to them. We didn't really ever have to yell at them because they just showed up with the right mindset every day. And so, again, as a coach, young players like us as coaches don't want to yell at you. We will if we have to, and it's part of what we got to do. But we would much rather just show up and you take care of business. And that's what these two did. As far as memories, no, when Jaheim scored against Austin on the first drive, that was really good because that was something we talked about all week of the exact look that we got. And he was coachable, and then obviously made a great play and showed his explosiveness. These two were in my workout rack, I think the last 2 I know last year they were, but maybe 2 years. So seeing their growth there, it's not, I guess it wouldn't be just an individual, I can't think of one memory, but with these two, it was the growth from year to year that I saw. But there was a practice memory where Jaheim's very calm. All right. And when he loses it, somebody's made him mad. And so there was a day in practice. I don't remember who he went after, but he went after somebody. And I loved it. And then this one, it's just
Wade Johnson.
this one right here, we'll get into it with anybody. And he runs to defend him. And was that during spring training or was that?
No, yeah, the week of Austin.
No, that was
the Tuesday practice. And somebody was like, "The horses are ready."
something like that. Practice wise, that's for sure probably my favorite ever. Yeah.
Okay, what are you guys gonna tell the guys coming up about Clay football? What do you want them to remember? Y'all gotten to watch my linebackers talk.
Yeah,
So
there was
listen
emotion.
they
Though.
said.
It was a little too emotional.
That's all right.
I get it, but I don't think I'd be like that. That's that. I'll say, be yourself. You can't control everything. It's just things are gonna happen. Like they kind of said, just always show up because you are gonna miss it for sure. Like, no lie, I wish I know I played defense my freshman year, but honestly, I wish I was on the offense side of the ball since I came to Hartsville because I ain't get that much time to spend with Coach Lane, Coach Prater, Jaden's. I was always on the other side of the ball, so it's dang, I wish I had longer time with these with these guys. So don't take nothing for granted, and just do what you gotta do. It's gonna be some days where something happened and you gotta make sacrifices and stuff. So it's always show up. So that's my advice.
Mine be kind of like he said, just appreciate everything. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna miss the 6:30 a.m. practices. You're gonna miss your feet hurting. You're gonna miss Coach Prater yelling at everybody. My gosh, I already miss making fun of Coach Prater.
For real.
Just yelling at him.
Coach Prater on through.
It's okay. I got you at family gathering.
Yeah. Okay. Just appreciate what you have, basically, because it's not always gonna be there.
Nothing bonds you like football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the greatest game of all time, because of the camaraderie and the family adhesion. Yeah. Throughput.
Well, I had fun watching y'all play. Thank you. All right, we'll be right back. We're here with our wide receiver group, and we're missing Brody Nelson, so we want to give a shout out to him. He was the new guy on the squad this year, but we got another new guy. We got Coach Marcus Robinson. We have Coach Grant Lake. We have Peyton Worley. I actually got y'all both right. I was so proud.
That's a bright.
And we got Kane Falciani here. Let's start with you, Kane. You started the season knowing you were going to be wide receiver one. You were going to be our go-to guy. Did it live up to your expectations?
I think so. I think the wide receivers we worked as a group, we each had something that we were good at and something that we applied to the team that somebody else couldn't. But yeah, I feel like I stepped in that role about as best as I could this year, and I really enjoyed it.
Had a good time. Well, and we want to talk about the Jasper Dam in a minute, but Peyton, bless you. I talked to your brother before you in the show, and I wanted to ask you what it was like playing on the other side from your twin, but I found out from the defensive side of the ball that they love to hit you really, really hard in practice.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about it.
It's because I guess it goes to when I played fullback. I would always, as fullback, you gotta be more physical. Yeah, I guess a receiver or whatnot. I love contact. My older brother was a linebacker. My dad was a linebacker, and Parker was a linebacker. So I think I'm ruining the tradition, sadly, but I just brought that physicality towards every person I hit. I guess every ball.
And you were good with that.
I guess so.
Coach Robinson, you're new to the staff this year. Tell us about your experience working here with Hartsville and with these guys.
Oh man, it was so good because even my first day here, you can tell this was gonna be a special group, and we had a special group you've seen from week one all the way to the last one. It didn't end how we wanted to, but I'm so proud of the growth he had between especially these two guys and even the guys that's coming up next year. So I'm so ready for next year, and I'm so happy to be here.
That's awesome. Coaches, I want to ask you this. The coaches have, we shot part of the show earlier. Everybody keeps talking about how much fun y'all had in practice this year. As my recollection of my small athletic career, practice was not the fun time.
Yeah, I think it's just there.
Why do y'all like that?
I think it's really a testament to these guys and just the senior class, the way they practice, the way they approached every day. I think it challenged us as coaches, to be prepared and to have, the schedule and the plan in place to get these guys better, because they came to work every day and they challenged one another and they competed. But I think it started, with this seniors and, these two in particular, and then Brody too stepping in. I think it was just their approach challenged us as coaches, I would say.
There's a lot of fun each and every day coming up with something brand new for them, because when you got guys that know what to do, know how to run, know how to get in the right place, you kind of got to put a lot more work into how you prepare for them. We came into practice each and every day. Me and Coach Lake drove here together every day. We always had a plan on what we wanted to see out of them and what we wanted to get out of them every day.
Yeah, you guys do commute about an hour each way. This is a special place, Trev. If y'all, you scouts are driving an hour each way just to work with you guys. That's pretty awesome. Tell us about what you learned from these two coaches.
Yeah, I learned a ton this year, especially on the blocking aspect. I feel like we spent a lot of time on that, especially in the early season. But like last year, we'd watch games from last year, like teams that we were gonna play that we played last year, and like we'd watch clips and Coach Lake be like, "Dude, we're so much better this year." And you could tell like the difference in the way I play, like how I block or how I get off of a route. It's from them. It's because they taught me how to do it, and they taught me to do it consistently. So yeah.
Well, I learned. I think I learned how to do the little stuff a little bit better from Coach Lake and Coach Robertson's teaching. I would have the big stuff planned out, like blocking, obviously catching. I mean, little stuff that all the hard individual stuff. I mean, they just helped me progress them.
Well, and you guys can say something about them in practice. Defensive line already got Coach Fulks talking about playing pass pro against our line. And and he referred to the other coach as a bully, which we all know who that was. But that'll be that'll be out there. Guys, I know it's a reciprocal relationship. You guys are learning from these stacks. So what can you tell us about working with these two receivers? What did you guys learn from them?
A lot, really. You know what I mean? Because coming from Albert, coming to here, you kind of get to a point to where you're like, okay, do I have to teach them everything, or are they already kind of built into it? And I learned a lot from just watching him just go at people every day, taking his aggression and like he said, with the little things, just having them feed onto that energy he already has. I think me and Coach Lake and a lot of offensive coaches can tell you, one of the best blocking kids we have. You know what I mean? Does a great job running around, does a great job of just being here every day, and you know what you're going to get when you see him. And with Kane, it was so good to have a guy that you can look at and be like, I know he knows what to do. I know this guy, when I see 8 line up on that field, I know what I'm getting out of him. You know what I mean? Me and him started off with a great relationship coming from this summer, and always building up all the way through the season of just being with him, just telling him, man, when you do these things right, everything else falls in line. Him being out, like you said earlier, him being our top dog, knowing he's going to be the number one guy. When the number one guy does everything right, the other guys have no choice but to do things right behind him. It was just a good thing of seeing.
Yeah, I agree. I think number one, this group in particular made us look a whole lot better as coaches with just their approach and their God-given ability and their buy-in to the little things that, we just give them nuggets and pieces that we learned playing, and they took it and ran with it. So I had a blast coaching these guys. I coached the box for 7 or 8 years. So I was coaching tight ends, fullbacks. I've coached linebackers. I've never coached the skill position individually the way I've done it this year. It's a whole different league. And I think I learned that pretty quick. You can't coach them the same as far as the box guys. It's just a different, I don't really know how to explain it. It's just a different position to coach. And you have to approach it differently. But at the same time, these guys, they took the hard coaching. They took the physicality piece that I really wanted to instill in them. And, they made me look a whole lot better than I am. So it's credit to these guys.
Well, let's talk about one of the most dynamic moments that we had all season, and the one that almost gave me a heart attack. My watch kept thinking I had some sort of collision, and that was the last 8 seconds at Jasper. It was a must-win game to secure that home playoff berth. Walk us through that. I mean, you were the guy who caught the ball. I know you guys knew what we were running. Tell us, why don't we dial that up and tell us about it?
Oh, well, I mean, I would say this is why we called it, but I told Coach Lane, I was like, just let me try it. Like, I basically just told him, give me the ball. That last play, I told him, I said, trust me. That's what I said. I looked at him, I said, trust me, just trust me. And he shook his head, and they called the play, and I knew that when we went out there, I was like, I have to now. Like, we have to get it done. And so, me and Carter have a great connection. We always have. And so I knew, like, when we called that play, I was like, this is it. This is the game. And we went out there and we executed it and went out on top.
I'm surprised we could hear you from the box. Did y'all go crazy?
Yes. So, it was being discussed on the headset between Coach Prater, Coach Lang, Coach Robinson, myself, just the offensive staff. We tried the run right before it, and all credit to Jasper. They stopped the run, which is not easy to do against our backs. Coach Lang just kind of pitched, hey, what do you guys want? And I don't remember who said it, but someone mentioned, Kane on a lip route, and then Lang, being his creative mind, he drew it up and he put him in motion with it, which is really tough to cover from a DB. If with Kane going in motion, it's sounding like he's running across the field and then snapping down and breaking out of it. So it was just discussed, and I don't think I sat down, and I know I went berserk. I think I had to apologize to the defensive coaches that were in the box up there, because it was exciting. It was fun for sure.
We hadn't had one like that in a while. That was something else. All right. Aside from that, let's give us your best memory of the season, and it does not have to be. And we can go all the way down the line. It does not have to be a ball game. Okay, we can talk about the spiritual aspects or whatever you need to. What was your best?
I really like practice, like being as a family. Obviously, it goes throughout the locker room and practice. I mean, I really love the games, but I really enjoyed practicing and developing and just with my family. So I guess that was like my greatest.
Family and brother.
Yeah.
Because I really think Hoover's like a brother to you.
Yeah, sort of.
So yeah, there's like 3 of y'all.
That's the long lost twin.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, go ahead.
Other than the Jasper game, I'd say like being in the locker room pregame, listening to music. Like, I'm a big music guy, so music's playing and gets me hyped up, and I get like into it more, I guess, and it just energizes me. And like being in there with the guys, hearing everybody like listening to a song, and we're all getting hype, and it's just fun, and it's just like everybody knows that we're ready to play, and we're all a family, and we're together. It's just like, it's different than playing a game. Like people say football's not just a game, and it teaches you the most life lessons out of any sport, and I definitely agree with that.
How's it different from baseball? Because I know you play both sports. Why is it important to play football?
For some people, this might not be true, but the energy that goes into playing football is a lot more than goes into playing baseball. Like, baseball is a lot harder in different aspects, and football is a lot harder in different aspects. So, baseball, I feel like this is like 90% mental game. Like, obviously, you have to be good at baseball, but it's like a lot of what's mental, and people don't understand that. But football, it's like you gotta have energy, physicality, like that type of thing. So there's like 2 different ends of the spectrum. But like, yeah.
And that's where you play better.
Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
All right, guys. What was y'all's best memory? What are you gonna miss, he says?
I think just outside of football, just the little things that Worley kind of talked about. He was talking football wise, but I think just the meetings, individual drills, the pregame prayers that we got to do as a group, just being with the guys. I think that's what matters to me the most. Because football is great, but football is not forever, and your relationships are. So I hope that I instilled more than just football in these guys. So that's my biggest takeaway from the season.
Really a lot, to tell you the truth. Man, first year being here, you got to get around. You don't really know many people. I know Coach Lake, because me and him play football, knew Coach Miller. We all play football together, but like to get to know the rest of the coaching staff, being in that coaches meeting with Jerry, your brother, Lane, all those guys, having fun, sitting before practice, talking, even after practice, sitting there as a family, talk, laugh, and just have that camaraderie with each other. And like having that every day, being a part of this staff, being a part of the school system, has just changed me so much more. Like Coach Lay said, those prayers before the games with the receivers and the coaching staff. Like I've never even been at Mount Brook, we didn't do those things where we all pray together as a brotherhood. You know what I mean? And to be here, to be a part of something like that, to be a part of a great winning team, a great senior class, so ready for next year. But like those are the things I'm going to miss. Seeing these guys in meetings, having them around, and when we walk into practice every day, those are the things I think I miss the most.
He's definitely special. You'll realize it when you go to other phases of life. These guys know. And you've been around a lot of teams, and y'all gotten lightning in a bottle. This shit, you really have. You didn't walk away with the trophy, but I think the family aspect was definitely, and like we said, it's gonna last forever, right? All right, guys. Last time for your pitch to the people. What could you do different? What would you say? Life advice. Kind of whatever you want to do. It's your moment. This is your time capsule.
I'd say if I went back in 8th grade me, whenever I was in spring training and I got knocked out, and then I quit football a week later, but go back, don't quit football. Like, and I tell so many people that, like the younger guys, like freshman year in practice, or like even at practice, just talking to them, and they're like, "Are you gonna play football your all 4 years?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know." I'm like, "Dude, you're good. You need to play." Like, there's certain kids that I tell that to, and it's just like, and I tell them the same thing. I'm like, I regret quitting those 2 years. Like, I only played my junior, senior year. They're 2 most fun years of my life, and I wish I would have done it freshman and sophomore year, but that's not the way it goes, and that's fine, and like there's nothing I can change about it. But just that, and don't take anything for granted while you're in this program, because everything's going to come back to you, and everything means something to you, and you're going to miss it when it's over.
I guess I'll piggyback off of quitting. I mean, I quitted during my junior year. I quit for like at least 2 weeks. Then Coach Newton came to my house and yelled at my parents, was like saying he needs to play football and everything. But I would say to the younger kids, all the way to freshmen to junior, to not quit and just give it your all. Yeah.
Awesome. We guys got anything you want to add?
Don't blink. Starting from, when you start playing, however young you are or old you are, like it goes by quick. I just sent a flashback photo to, our quarterback in college from 13 years ago, and it literally feels like yesterday. It happens fast, so don't blink.
Yeah, I'm kind of piggybacking off that one. Like, I can remember my last game sitting at Broadley Stadium, just looking, and like, these moments may never happen again. You never know, like we told them all here, you never know when that day is going to come when you got to put your cleats up. Enjoy every second of it, man. Enjoy the brotherhood, because you're not going to have as much fun as you have with being with your brothers every day. Being in that locker room, the conversations you have that can't get out of that locker room, the things you talk about, the life skills you learn from your brothers, the way you pick up each other is something you can never miss, man. And enjoy those moments when they come.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Shout out to Birdie Nelson.
Birdie Nelson, we missed you. Okay, we're here with the defensive line, probably one of our largest senior groups. Let me go through and tell you who's here. We got defensive line coach. We got Jerry Fulks. We got down there, we got Tyler Myland. We have Eli King, Auburn Herring, Dalton Buntain, and Landon Ledlow. And guys, I'm just going to start off by telling you that I hosted the coaches show this year, had lots of groups, but I think my favorite moment was what y'all are doing to Auburn right now, but it was Coach Fulks. We were all on the table, and y'all had that poor man sandwich where I really think his shoulders were touching. Do you guys remember that? What's your favorite memory about that?
The Gummy Bear song? Yeah, the Gummy Bear song.
Have you listened to the
Yeah, I heard it. They played it. It's ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say.
Right, Gummy Bears are the best.
Y'all gave him gummy bears?
It wasn't those.
Yeah, somebody keeps dropping off bags of gummy bears. They end up
Maybe the same one that's stealing things from mine.
they end up on my keyboard. They end up everywhere. So we got that going.
Well, that's a fun snack.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind eating them, but
All right, let's start off with Eli. I've been told to ask you what DIFD means.
Do it for Donnie.
Do it for Donnie. Talk about Donnie. We talked about Donnie in our last
I
segment.
mean, Donnie's is just a great guy. You know, he's really a team player. Unfortunately, he not play this year, quit spring or summer, you know, but we had to carry it on. We brought his jersey, his practice jersey to every game, you know, and I wrote that on my wrist tape before every game. Do it for Donnie.
That's awesome.
He also came in the locker room at halftime of round one. That was pretty cool.
I think that was cool. Miles' favorite memory was the reaction from everybody when Donnie came into the locker room. I want to talk to you guys really quick. You're like bros, so tell me how good that was. You're really close. How was playing football next to your probably one of your dearest friends?
Well, at first it started off, I was a D lineman and he was a linebacker. Then he started to gain a little weight, and then he got moved over here to the defensive line. And that's when it really started to, like, we started to talk more and then, like, become closer friends because we were seeing each other, like, every day and practice with each other. And that was just probably what started us becoming best friends.
He especially when I got moved to nose, he really helped me with the fundamentals of being a nose, sacrificing yourself for a lot of plays, and really he was the one who got me probably as strong as I am, hoping to go to a gym freshman and sophomore year.
He's even started to blue at your haircut.
No, this is just
Going there.
Are they close?
They're close. Got a little height now over there. I'll talk about to Auburn and Tyler. We had lots of guys that really improved over the season from last year, but I really think on my chart, of course, my opinion doesn't count, but that's for the show. You guys, I mean, you were good last year, but this year I started watching. Y'all were in the backfield of the opponent's offense more than I think you're on your side of the ball. What made you grow that much as players? What influenced that? What changed?
I think really it was just the rest of the D-line. They helped push everybody.
Yeah, I worked hard really over the summer, and just felt like, I had to step up and do something about it.
Coach, what can you say about this group?
I would say that the play on the field matches their maturity as people. Like these guys you're talking about showing up on Friday night, it's not a coincidence that they grew as people too, became more dependable, which is, as coaches, is what we want to see out of them. You want to know that when they leave this place that they're going to be successful, be okay, be good, daddies and husbands and all that stuff. And this group, I have no doubt, they're going to be successful. They grew up and took ownership of their position, and really fun to coach, really fun group to coach.
Well, guys, what can you say that Coach Fulks has taught you? What have you learned from him?
Well, the biggest thing I feel like for my 4 years of being over there was it's not, even though it's football, it's also not all about football. Coach Fulks is a really down-to-earth guy that will tell you straight up about it's also has to do with life and life lessons that come with it, like discipline and being able to do what's right.
You got to get up every single day and do what you don't want to do. Whether it's get up and go work out at 6:30 in the morning, or got to practice 3-4 days right after another.
It's like a brotherhood. So it's not just about you. You got to show up for the team. It's for everybody else of the team.
Yeah, and the same way you have to do with your brothers. He talks about how you're going to have to do that for your family one day. And I think he's been a great role model for that.
Your TikTok career doesn't take off.
You got the TikTok career?
I don't.
I keep seeing him.
Oh, wow.
You're only Olivia. Olivia. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's not enthused at all.
Yeah.
Fun to watch.
Oh yeah, the little things that matters most to me. Coach Rose talks about it all the time. Like the little things matter, not just football, but outside of football too. Like at home, like doing little things, cleaning up, stuff like that. It matters.
All right, Coach, what's your favorite moment? Let's go through. I know you have a favorite moment with each of these guys. It stood out to you. We want to remember. So let's go through the line, and then I'm going to ask y'all. So be thinking while Coach is talking. of what your favorite moment was this season. Go ahead. And it doesn't have to be on the field.
Well, I mean, it's really collective with a lot of these guys, but it's, Landon and Buntain, I've always give them a hard time because they're so close. Always. Always give them, we cut up quite a bit because they're so close. But, and in reality, both of those guys over the years that we've had them have had rough spots in their life and been there for each other. And that's why they've become so close. Is that not fair enough to say? So, remembering these guys from ninth grade, growing up, Landon and Buntain both always gym rats. Like so much so that they started hurting themselves outside of our weight group. We had to tell them, hey guys, only lift when you're with us. Buntain ended up with back injuries. Landon ended up with some wrist stuff and all that. So, that's memorable from those guys. Auburn, just the growing up piece. When he was a ninth grader, even into his 10th grade year, and he knows, we didn't know if we were going to be able to count on him. But, he got right over the summer and, really dug into the craft and really bought into the team aspect of it and had an absolute outstanding senior year, which is what we know, could do all along. And, Eli, for me, he's always been that steady guy in the group. Always. Try to call and make sure guys are there on time, try to make sure this guy's here on time. You always need a leader in the group, and I thought Eli really tried to do that, as well as Buntain with his play as well. And Tyler, when he first came over in ninth grade, small, weak, I know he doesn't look like it now, but
I'm leaning over.
Couldn't bench press the bar when he got over here, and wasn't really sure if he was ever going to pan out, but just kept working and we didn't give up on him, because you don't never know what those bodies are going to do by the time they're a junior, and turned out to be a really explosive player and had a great year, sir. Again, I can't say enough, one of the funnest groups collectively that I've ever coached, because by the time that they got seniors, you didn't have to worry about where they were going to be, what attitude they were going to show up with, and especially how they were going to compete in Friday night, so they played hard for each other.
That was pretty good. Coach did a good job. All right, pressure's on you. What's your favorite moment in the season?
When Coach Foles got in the 4-point stance. During practice, like Fundy, he was getting the 4-point stances, like telling them about it, stuff like that. Joking room.
He was modeling.
Yeah. Who's this boy? I would say beating Austin this year, just because they beat us the last 2 years in a row, and that's where I grew up. So moving here, it felt pretty good to beat them.
I guess the Pass Pro beefs with him and Coach Prater. Well, Coach always talks about Monique.
Well, first of all, Coach Prater's a bullet. And he likes to pick on people that are shorter than he.
I know about
And so he thinks it's funny to point out that I'm shorter than everybody else out there, which I don't have a problem with because I've been short my whole life. I know how to deal with it. And I got 3 older brothers. So he's not the first bully I've ever met in my life. Bullies get theirs in the end. So,
But what happened with Pass Pro?
Talks about like how Coach Foles can't see over the line. He needs a stool to,
He needs a box.
yeah, plot to get up, see everybody.
a bullet. See that?
Like I said, I know. He's my brother.
My favorite memory was last year playing Austin round 1 was my first varsity start, and them ended up beating us in double overtime. And I came into this year with the mentality I'm not even going to let them run the ball on me one bit, because that was my first varsity start. And I ended up making like 5 plays, and I ended up doing the same exact thing this year, and they weren't able to do a thing on me. So that made me feel like I was stepping up to who I wanted to be this season and this year.
Mine was probably this year, to be honest, and it was right after I got out of the wreck. I was expecting not to be able to play at all, and not even pad up, but it was not even 2 weeks later I was able to still pad up, and Coach Folk still wouldn't have the opportunity to get in and play. Even if it wasn't for a lot, I'm still grateful.
Coach, do you have a favorite memory is this season with these guys?
Man, just the whole year. If you look at we had coming into this season for this group, we pretty much graduated everybody but Buntain, and a lot of question marks Eli played halftime last year. Auburn Spock played some. Tyler Spock played some, but collectively not a ton of experience there. And it was a question mark for us. And these guys did a really good job of taking ownership in what their role was, and they didn't care who got the majority of the playing time. And we were able. It's nice when you got 5 or 6 guys that can roll out there and you're confident with them. And just day to day, they're a fun group to coach. When you can go out to practice and practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you don't feel like you've been out there 30 minutes as a coach, that's fun. That's why I do it. And I appreciate you guys for that, because there's years where it's not that way. It's more of a struggle than fun. And this year was fun.
You can tell you guys all like each other. It's really cool. All right, guys, this is your moment you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. The message I've asked the players before you to say is something to the effect of what you would advise you to give a younger guy, or what you remember from your football career. What's made it worth it?
For advice, I would say don't take anything for granted. In the moment when you're out there in July or June picking corn, it sucks. But now I wish I could go do that again with these guys. It's just so fun.
Man, advice I'd give to a younger guy, you hear it all the time, telling people telling younger people that it'll fly by, and I was always like, forever, it'll be all right, and I'll be able to get away with missing this or skipping this couple reps. It's not that way. You have to show up, and you have to do what you're supposed to do. Don't follow for the temptation of just skipping out.
I mean, just live in the moment with it too. Don't, like he said, it goes by really fast, because it felt like yesterday I was still a freshman at linebacker. So, and whatever it is that they tell you got to do, just do it. And there's no point complaining about it, because at the end of the day, it's going to make you better. Or even if it's just going out there during the off season and putting in extra work, or skipping reps. At the end, it's gonna help you out.
I'd say show up, because I remember sophomore, freshman year, you show up as much. I get that, but I'd tell the young kids, show up as much as you can, do what you can do.
What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I tell the younger ones, they be wanting to quit because I know football is hard and stuff, and I'll be like, don't quit, because it's gonna be like you shouldn't quit, because in the end it's gonna all pay off, and it'll all just pay off, and then if you just keep going.
Oh, Eli, I started. I'm sorry, Tyler. I started this with you. You play baseball, so why you put your body on the line for football? What makes this so special and so important?
I would say the atmosphere is just kind of different. It's a level up. Obviously, we won the state championship last year. Played in it 2 years ago. That atmosphere is crazy, but it's almost at the same level as just a random Friday night playing anybody. The amount of people we get in the stadium, it's definitely a lot more, and it gets crazy out there. It's just fun. And there's more people on the team. It's just a bigger brotherhood. But, I love doing both.
Nobody's mentioned desserts yet from Team Mip. But thank you guys for your time. Y'all did a great job. We'll be right back. All right, we're here with our DBs and their coach. We got Coach Brad Bray, Carson Jett, Shad Priola, and Brady Realhoover. Gonna start this one off with a bang. DBs are considered to be most vocal. I know one of you is definitely. I've seen him be vocal, but what about the other two? Are you guys? Y'all talk a lot.
I feel like I get after it. If they turn me up, I'm gonna get after. Yeah.
I can watch Shad's head bob out in the middle of the field because he doesn't talk with his mouth; he talks with his neck, and I know he's talking. So how does that help your game?
It just ups the intensity and makes you just want to get after somebody more, I feel like. And it makes it all a little bit more fun.
Awesome.
Whenever you're talking with someone.
What about you, Rick Weaver?
I say in practice against going against Worley. There's a lot of talk. That's the only time I'll talk, or if like something happens in a game, if there's any background. But other than that, I don't know anything about there.
Well, Worley, his brother said that he tried to hit him as hard as he could in every practice.
Oh yeah,
So he had you too.
yeah. No, he has all of it. He had all of us. Yeah, Peyton Worley gets all of it.
Oh, bless his heart. Carson, I want to segue into that, talking about the trash talk. I saw you. I don't know if it was an Oscar-worthy performance or if it was legitimate at the Athens game when you went flying backwards on the track. Was that because of something you said? Did we see the second hack? Usually the guy who throws the first punch, you don't see it, but you see the second one. So when they got the personal foul and you went tumbling to the track, tell us about it. Just walk us through it.
So it was they ran the ball, and he came to block me, and they shackled the guy running the ball, and he keeps blocking me to the sideline, throw up my hands, and he just kept going with it. He threw me, tried to push me a little extra. They got the flag for it.
So it was a dive.
It was a little bit.
A
little bit of a flop. Well, yeah. The ref knew it a little bit. He said something about me flopping, but I still got it.
That was pretty good. Well, I was happy. Yeah, you got the personal foul. Shad, let's talk about you. You had ACL surgery. I knew it was knee surgery.
Yeah,
last year, about this time last year, right?
Yeah.
And I saw you playing, and I only saw you kind of favorite one time. Tell me what it was like. That has to be scary.
Yeah, the first few games it was kind of like a mind block, but I'd say after the bye week in Columbia, after that it kind of went away. I started really. It's mainly the hitting part. I was scared to hit with it. But after that, I was good. I feel like. But yeah.
Well, and it was okay. I saw you looking at it at Homewood, so you're okay.
Oh, I was cramping up then. That was me cramping. Yeah.
Okay. Brady, I always see you inviting me to pickleball, and you had a game during the season that most people dream of. You had 2 picks, got to be player of the week, all the things. Walk us through that. How important was that, or how much fun was that to experience?
Obviously, it was great. Just being able to showcase something like that, and just being able to be a part of that. And it wasn't just me; it was the whole team. Just pressuring the quarterback, making him throw that pass, and thankful for Coach Bray for technique and stuff, teaching me that, because it was kind of hard going from receiver to DB. So Coach Bray helped a lot with that, and being able to just play a ball, it was good. And
All right, some of the younger guys asked me to ask you about the statement or the lyric, "I was just sitting there." What is that about?
Yeah, I guess it kind of started just a while ago. Me and Carti, we're big music guys, and Good Directions by Billy Currington, that's always been a staple for me and Carti. Obviously, there's more, but anytime we see each other or the younger guys, I was sitting there. So if you see me, throw that statement out there, and I'll say it back. But nothing really meaningful, but it's just a great song.
They say you pretty much play it on repeat.
Oh yeah, all the time.
You heard it, Coach Bray?
Never heard it.
Remember, it's a good one. Hey, I was sitting there, cells, nerves on my flatbed truck. Man, it's a good one. It's a good one for sure.
Coach was new to DBs, and he came back to Hartsville. He has been at Hartsville, but he came back last spring. So tell me what the experience was working with Coach Bray, what he's taught you this year, all those fun things.
I'd say it's a little bit. We've gone through Paris since we've been in the high school. We had Coach Cole, and then we Coach Ellis for you, and Coach Bray, and they're all 3 different in obviously in their respects. But I'd say Coach Bray is definitely the most like intense throughout the whole practice, and getting after you, and trying to get the most out of you, and I'd say that, or at least a different scheme.
But you, Carson Jett, you go my first player of the week.
I feel like, yeah, Coach Bray, working with Coach Bray, I feel like we worked more learning route concepts, focusing more on routes than technique, kind of. But I feel like going through high school, 3 different coaches, each one
like built on top of each other to make us better.
And I just say being a receiver for 3 years, making that transition, like I said earlier, to a DB, nobody could do it better than Coach Bray. He really helped me transition from that, and he gave me a little bit mercy at the beginning, understanding that I was a receiver, but then transforming that to a DB, and then so just great job, Coach Bray.
Coach, what can you tell me about working with these guys? And you're usually a defensive line coach. Did you have a lot of experience with DBs? Was this
The first or second year I was at Austin, I did DBs. Maybe the second year. And then when I went to Colin, when I left here, I went to DBs. And then the 2 years at Athens, I coached DBs. So, yeah, some. But with having Coach Cole and then Coach Ellis, it's hard for guys. Yeah, I've been through coaching transitions before, and it's hard sometimes making that adjustment, player and coach. So I think how they handled it, I think it's big to go through three in 3 years. I mean, that's tough. So, and I've learned over the years that if I came in like I was when I first got here, that mentality, DBs, dealing with D-line and DBs is a little bit different. I don't think it probably would have been harder for both sides of it. But I think the fact that giving some time for those relationships to build and being able to learn to trust each other and see what they know and what they understand, and then them see on the flip side, that I know what I'm doing also, and you could tell that they had been coached up, and I think we take too much credit sometimes as coaches. I think it's a credit to them. They embrace coaching, and that's the truth. It was a fun group to coach, because I knew, like, there's a lot of times you sit in meetings and guys don't ask a lot of questions, and they're not interested in, honestly, they're just trying to get through it. And they're very vocal, asking questions, and, they want to know what to do. They want to know certain concepts, how to deal with those certain concepts, but it's refreshing because you feel like what you're doing, what the work you're putting into it, you're getting something out of it. You want to help them grow. So, kudos to them and the fact that, they could have not responded. They could have just not listened because it's the third guy, and they didn't. And honestly, it's one of the best groups I've coached and enjoyed coaching. Had a lot of fun with them. And, the talking, the confidence level, I love that. I do. I don't care what position you play. If you're on the field, you got to play with confidence, But part of that is knowing what to do, and they knew what to do. So,
Well, what's your guys' best memory? It doesn't have to be of the game. I know while we've been filming this today, we've had people sit and watch, and you've seen what people said during other segments. I do know, Carson, your dad's dirt cake is of legend. We covered that through the season, so I wanted to give him a shout out because it's been mentioned several times on the Coaches Show. But what's y'all's best memory?
Probably coach telling me before the Austin game of how I'm gonna get a pick, and then like actually going out there and doing it, and then hitting the sideline, getting handed the headset, and him yelling at me on the headset, getting all hyped about it. That's probably one of the best memories.
We all love beating Austin around here.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. We got Shad. You always have something to say.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really. I don't think I could pick out one if I really tried to. So
I'm gonna be honest, dude. The Austin week of practice, the whole team went at it one time, and it was so much fun to me. It was so much fun, and then like right after, it was me and Kane going at it the most. I'm gonna be honest, and then right after, literally, it just hitting it. They threw my helmet, and I went and got it, and then like me and Kane high-fived him, and like we're good.
Well, and Jaheim said that we got not dust up.
Oh yeah, Jaheim was one of them. Yeah, it was everybody.
Well, how'd you like Clay your brother?
I didn't play with him much. I mean, the only time I really played with him was in like B swap and crossover, and all that's non-contact. But if he ran into me, I would just go try and hit him in the head, away from my head.
He did come check on you during the Homewood game. Make sure you're okay.
I don't remember that, but yeah, he probably did.
Yeah, if I did anything, he'd be right there. hyping me up, and that's great. I love it. Yeah, I'll try and come back as much as I can and watch some these next few years.
So what you who?
I'd say my best memory is in a game. It was sad. It was halftime. Wasn't wrong. It was me, Shad, and Carson was talking. And Shad was like, "Man, it'd be something if I could just get a solo tackle, a big solo tackle." And I was like, "Yeah, that would be pretty nice." And I was like, "You gonna get you one? Don't worry." Sure enough, come back after halftime. We kick it off. First play, he blows right past the receiver and like body slams the guy. And I was like, "Yeah, there it is." And I was like, and he caught it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Coach? You got a favorite memory of these guys?
Probably not one that sticks out. I mean, it's just a culmination of, like, he's talking about interception, talking about hits on the screens, big plays, them making plays. I don't know. I enjoy seeing them make plays, and then I don't know. I like seeing them happy, But I don't know that they get enough credit. I mean, this is DB group as a whole of how well they protected the back end from deep balls and stuff this year. I mean, you only give up 3 in 12 games. That's extremely impressive. Not to of course about this. That's extremely impressive. And all 3 of those were good coverage. And sometimes it's gonna happen. But a lot of those at times we did a great job getting pressured during the year, but a lot of those on those pressures, that's where a lot of those deep balls come from. This coverage breaking down. And if you look at it from like the drone shots and stuff, on the back end, all of those guys, safeties included, Rover, they're doing a really good job of taking care of routes. And I think that can be overlooked sometimes.
Let's take this final minute, talk to the camera, talk about a memory or what you advise the young guys, why you play the game, because we want you to look back. It's going to be a time capsule. You're going to watch 5-10 years from now because it's going to be on YouTube, which means it's out there forever. What do you want to say? What do you want to tell the guys?
It's the same thing everybody says. Enjoy every second. It's not gonna be all sunshine and rainbows, but I really challenged myself my senior year to make it as fun as possible. It is all about the wins, and if you win, I mean, you're gonna be down. I mean, if you lose, you're gonna be down. But you should have fun no matter what. Have fun. Keep a smile on your face. As well, I'd say always smile and just have a blast. Have a heck of the year.
I would say to the younger guys, like just maximize how much you can be yourself. Because if everybody does that, then nobody really knows how good you can be as a whole. Is if you do your job and just make yourself as good as you possibly can. That's what I was focused on after my injury, because I didn't really know. I was unsure about everything. Some of the stuff I was just gonna maximize what I could do. And I had a pretty decent season.
For me, it's like for the younger people, surround yourself around people that want to get better, that want you to get better, and stick with those people, and you'll all come up together. I'll say that.
That's pretty good. All right. Well, thank y'all for your time. We'll be right back. Okay, we got our linebacker for today. We got Coach Cole, our defensive coordinator. Got Austin Payne. Got Blaine Johnson, Hayden Gray, and Parker Worley. And we got Coach Foreman here with us. We're going to capture their senior memories. And Hayden, I'm going to start with you. I had you on the show, not real talkative, but I have a feeling I've heard you're very passionate about one thing. That's Waffle House. Tell me about that. You even had a Waffle House sleeve on during media day.
Yes, ma'am. After every game, since I started playing varsity, we would go there and eat after the games. It was a fun time. We even know the ladies by name. So,
do you go to the one near the Taco Bell, or do you go to the one near the bridge?
near the selected.
So you're a prizeful Waffle House, Mr. Nice enough. Evidently, they've got quality stuff. That's the one you need to go to then, right? If they're repeat customers. Ask them to listen. Blaine, you have had to walk a very unique and difficult path. You are the high school's first ever FFA officer. which I don't know if people understand the amount of hours and dedication it takes to not only get that, but to maintain that position and what is expected of you. You did that role while also play football. Tell us about how hard that was and the difficult choices, but how football helped you with FFA.
Football helped me with FFA just by before I went into FFA, I knew how an organization could make you such a brotherhood. So I've played football my whole life, and I've been a brotherhood with the people I've played with. And as soon as I stepped into FFA, I was able to bring that sense of community that football brings you into the FFA organization. And being the first state officer from Hartsville, I'm blessed because I work with people like Coach Cole, Coach Foreman, Coach Newton. They know what my future is, and they know what I want to do. And they see that, and they're like, Blaine, go do your thing. And I couldn't be more thankful to have a coaching staff like that, because they know I'm going to show up on Friday night and hit people as hard as I can. But they also know that FFA is going to help me with college and hopefully ended up back ag teaching, maybe here someday. So
That'd be awesome. That we would love to have you. Austin, I have a question for you. I've been around football most of my life, and usually when a player is injured, they take themselves out of the game. A trainer takes them out of the game. You go hang out in a tent to try to get seen about. Your head coach has to constantly send you to the trainer to make sure you're still all in one piece because you're constantly trying to go out there, hurt or not. So tell me, what's driving you to be out there when we know you're playing kind of hurt?
Well, I mean, just you got to do what you got to do. But it doesn't matter if you're hurt or not. You have to get out there and play with your brothers. I mean, so what, your shoulders hurt a little bit. I mean, it hurts more if you don't get to play. So I'd rather play through the pain physically than mentally. It's a lot better.
That's a good answer. Coach, y'all got anything to say about that? Foreman, you had a little bit of an anecdote.
Yeah, I did. Specifically, I love all these guys. I want to say that first. My relationship with all these boys go back to 7th grade when I was still doing junior high football. When Coach Moore first came here, and then before that, Coach Scotts was here. But somebody asked Coach Cole, I believe, some guys came and shadowed practice. They were like, we use some dudes like you got, man, on this defense. And he's like, well, it helps when you got that one guy, that psycho linebacker, and then just so happened Payne was walking in front of us when he made that remark. So the Payne train, so we called him from 7th grade on. So
Major Payne.
Yeah, Major Payne.
I just thought about that movie. I had to watch that with my dad recently. So Parker, got a question for you. Came back your senior year. You're coming off an injury. How important was that? And then also, please follow that up with you're lining up in practice across the field from your brother, your twin brother, your identical twin brother. So how was that? So let's start about the injury first.
First and foremost, I mean, it was I believe my junior year spring training. I got injured.
I mean, I went through that tough time, that trial of my life. I mean, it helped me. It gave me a new perspective about the sport, the brotherhood, and what I have to do to get right. And coming back, I'm like, all right, I'm preparing this whole year to get back, get right, going all at it, getting the coaches 110% and all that. And I'd say with my brother, I love it. Every play, dude, I'm trying to knock his head off. I'm talking smack, I'm doing everything. I love it.
He's going to be on the show too, so I can't wait to hear what he has to say. All right, so who hits the hardest at E Ford?
You ain't gonna get it. You ain't it.
we've all played some licks.
Okay. I was told I've been kind of doing secret little interviews, asking around and trying to find out, especially from the underclassmen, what I need to ask you to kind of get a good response for this show, because it's going to be kind of a time capsule. And they all reference the linebackers plus Tyler May plus Wednesday practice equals what?
I know nothing about this. It equals training Ty for his upcoming varsity endeavors. He's gonna have to hit some pretty tough people, and we wanted to be the first ones that he hit.
Gotcha. I heard he goes all out home walkthrough.
Oh, he's a train engine.
That's awesome. That's what you want, right? That's
not on with.
But love talent.
Coach, you have a talk. Tell us about these guys. Supposedly, Hartsville's kind of been known for their linebackers, right? We may not be the biggest, the fastest, but they're definitely going to lay a lick on you, right? So, tell me about these guys.
Just a really fun group. Number one to be around. We've had the moments of get it locked back in and all that kind of stuff, but really what you want on defense. I think I said this earlier in the year. If you got a defense and you don't have a couple of guys that with some marbles loose, then you're probably not going to be very good on defense. And and just looking at this,
Definitely have some.
just looking at this group sitting up here, you got it's almost like a reality show podcast on. You got Parker doesn't say much, and then Hayden says less.
Less. Oh, I know.
Blaine's going to make more money than all of us put together. All these guys lined up, got his career in line.
Well, and this one of us too. We had to wait for him to get off to come in here.
And I don't want to say that Austin's the most unhinged, but I probably so. But in asking who hits the hardest and all that, you could pull up clips of every one of these guys multiple times. Just they're just physical and they love to play, love to be around each other. And I think that's the biggest thing I'll miss, other than the football part, is just our fun group to be around. They got intense and crazy multiple times, but I think we might miss some of that. With the couple of fights we had in the last couple of years. But I said, this time next year we may be having to create some fights. I don't know, but you didn't have to create fights with this bunch. I know that.
No, you did not. I'm not going to elaborate on that.
Fun groups to be around. It's bottom line, fun group to be around.
All right, guys. What have these coaches taught you? We can go one by one. What have you learned from your coaches?
I'd say from Coach Cole, learning, he's the type of coach that you want to give 110%. He's got that character. He's got that passion for the sport that you want to get yourself to the team, to everybody. And I'd say a little bit about Coach Foreman. He's sometimes a little laid back, but yet again, he can still get your throat for messing up, if you're not locked in. Is the type of deal will check you up. They taught you discipline, taught you when to be there, when to show up. They moved me and Mike, and it really challenged me to become a leader. And y'all say I'm quiet, but I can step up and be loud when I need to. And they challenged me a lot through the years.
Waffle House gift cards.
Oh, I'm with you on the Waffle House, man. We're bigger. When you turn 40 years old, if I'm still on Earth, we'll be hitting some Martha.
All Waffle House is great. Well, definitely what these two said about the whole linebacker coaching stuff, and you never know what Austin's going to say. But they taught me that if you pour into people, they're going to want to do stuff for you. Like Coach Foreman poured into me since 7th grade. Coach Cole, ever since I knew, has trusted me and knew that I'm going to try to do what's right most of the time. And Coach Newton, same way. And it just shows me that once they put their trust in me, you don't want to break that trust with them. And that's how it is with anybody. If you pour into other people, they're going to want to pour into you. So
That's good answer. You might have done that public speaking thing a little bit. That's really good. Austin?
The coaches here, they're amazing. They taught me a lot. Discipline, to keep going, just basically like a father, just a bunch of fathers to you. And they just teach you a lot when you're growing up. It's like when you learn the most is because you're in high school. So, there's just like a bunch of dads that keep teaching you stuff.
That's awesome. And you can lead practice. We don't have to see until tomorrow. Okay, one more time. We're going to go through. I want you guys to have an opportunity to say something you think that I didn't ask you about, to remind the group upcoming what makes this special. What are you going to remember about it? Why should they do this? And coaches, feel free to participate, and I'll leave it to the group.
I'll start off as, you have teams that you love coaching, and then you have groups that you just, you love coaching them and you love being around them.
And that's probably with this group what I'll miss the most. Just a fun group to be around. Excited to see them go on 10 years from now and be successful with whatever that they're doing. And I think they know that we as coaches always be there, that when they need something, whatever they need. But and I'm saying all this, a lot of times you say that about groups that aren't very good at football. Like, hey, they got good personalities. I mean, fun group in every way imaginable, especially defensive, the physical part and all that. But just really a fun group to be around. And I love every one of them, and I'll miss them greatly. And the year that I'll remember, for as long as I live.
Good break. All right. So to the upcoming football players, it's going to be seniors, it's going to be coming into high school football. I would just say, no matter how hard spring training seems, how hard it seems to wake up every summer morning, how hard fall camp is when you just want to enjoy those last days of summer, never make an excuse not to be there, never make an excuse enough for you to quit, because when that last 10 seconds rolls around and you're sitting there thinking about all the plate pushes you had to do and bench presses that coach is screaming at you about, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. I remember going up to Hayden after the game and, everybody does it. Spring training the year before, it's like, man, I don't want to be here right now. And went up to Hayden and was like, we wanted to be here, man. And wish we would have never said stuff like that. So just enjoy every moment. That's what I would say, because this is really the best, top 3 life experiences. How we inherit kids. If I talk more, you getting saved, man? That's probably not marriage. Well, to the youngins, there's gonna be hard times. There's gonna be good times, but the hard times create the good times, and y'all gonna miss it. Y'all may not miss the game as much as you miss the people. Cherish the people, but also cherish the game. You'll never get to play it again. Something for some of us. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, I don't know how to top that off.
Same as them. You get in what you put into it. Give all these coaches 110%. Give them what they expect of you, and no matter what the outcome is, just push through.
I don't know. I used to hate coming to practices all the time. Like, I would not show up. Over the summer, going in the senior year, I think I missed more practices than I came to. But now that football is over, I realize that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made, because the memories I have from practice, now that I think about it, is the best times I've probably ever had in my life. And with these coaches, the players, everything. So now that it's over, I would like to tell these younger guys to go to every single practice, because you will forget. You'll miss not going to practice and stuff like that. It sucks not out.
I heard Coach Rogers say earlier before our time here up here on the stage that this senior class as a whole is a dying breed. I would say it's I hope it's not dying, but it's rare, because I know looking at Coach Cole, Coach Newton, Coach Fulks, all those defensive guys throughout the week, and there'll be times where it's like, what's that guy thinking, man? Like, what in the world is going on in his head? But with this whole entire group, and especially this linebacker group, when the lights come on Friday and we're about to break it down and go in before the kickoff, you might question decisions throughout the week, but I don't think any coach in this building on this campus questioned their desire to win. When the lights came on, it was no more games. Like, it was time to get after somebody's tail. And they've done that every year. I had them as 9th graders, as the freshman head coach. We gave up 1 touchdown all year. Okay, that's something I'll never forget. You never question, and I'm up here with these guys, but this whole entire class, I never questioned whether or not they wanted to freaking win. And that's what they are. They're winners. I hugged them after the Homewood game, and I told them the same exact thing to every single one of them. This hurts, and it sucks, and it feels like life's over. But I'm not worried about any of these dudes being successful because of the kind of people they are and how they played the game. They will be successful in whatever they do.
I thank you for your time. You've been great.